So we about to call one of the publicists in this game that do crazy amounts of people. What I mean to tell you, this woman is Superwoman. This woman is a good friend of mine, a very good publicist. She's in the game, been in the game for plus years. When you check her out, you will find her client list. Chanel, what up?
Hey Marty, how are you?
What's going on? I want to thank you so much, Ma, for calling and doing this and picking up for Got It Out the Mud. You know, I got to pay homage to my people. This is a celebrity publicist, guys. And this is Chanel. You want to talk your shit and tell the people who your client list is first before we get into some things?
I want to start with Marty.
We could always start with me. What's up, baby? How are you?
I'm good. As far as my client list, I rep a lot of DJs and recording artists, and I work with some corporate companies. But,
Okay.
For the most part, you got my legacy artists include like Dipset, which is Jim Jones, Cameron,
Shush!
Will, and super producer Salam Remy. And a lot of DJs at Hot 97, Drewski, Peter Rosenberg.
Shout out to Rosenberg. Shout out to Drew. Shout out to motherfucking Cam and the whole Dipset family. New York in the buildings. You heard?
Yes, and a bunch of emerging artists like Albial and Zed Will and Joe West and Iman Nunes and a bunch of others.
Throughout your whole PR career, right? What are some of the biggest monumental highlights when you first started?
When I first started,
I say when you look back at it and you be like, I cannot believe this girl. Like talking to your younger self to say like what you got, how you got it out the mud, basically.
Well, yes. Every client, I find myself in every client comes by referral, and that means a lot. And to me,
wait, of course, word of mouth in this game is the best thing ever.
Yes, and I pride myself that, one thing, I may not work with, say, a Cardi B anymore, but I was the first person to get her placed, her music placed. It was, my strategic planning and outreach that got, her first music places, and them getting her to take her seriously as a recording artist. And, I still live by that motto. Like, we live in a day and age where, people don't want to take you seriously unless you have a certain number of following. And yada, yada. But, I believe in doing the work, and that's knocking on every door until somebody tells you yes.
You definitely got to break down doors until they tell you yes. Like, I have the pleasure of working with Chanel numerous amount of times. First of all, I met Chanel after I worked with her client, Peter Rosenberg, for Complex. Shout out to Complex. Shout out to Rosenberg. It was for the show Open Late. When I mean to tell you, we got Peter dripped the fuck out. We had him in vintage Gucci to the point where Gucci had to repost the episode. And then I met Chanel through another artist who she manages, Torre and stuff like that. Chanel is a very well-known publicist, emerging artist. If you need to connect with someone who is going to make sure placements are there, you better holla at Chanel. Tell the people where they can find you at on social.
At PQCHANEL on all platforms.
So like I said, the thing about Chanel is what I love about you. And I had the pleasure to dress you for the Hip Hop 50. I dressed you before that, but Chanel, you are a businesswoman. You're very savvy. I think that people should know that you are a shark in a skirt because you're going to make sure the deal closes. And I love that about you. Y'all heard her client list. She already got it out the mud. She's managing well-known artists, Dipset, Jim, Cam, Jewels, Peter. Y'all need to check her out on Instagram and make sure y'all follow everything Chanel's in. I want to talk to the artists that are looking for representation. Make sure you check Chanel out. As you see, her Instagram is right here on the screen. But I know you're very busy because it's a different time zone. So I want to thank you so much, Nell, for getting out the mud with me. And I know I just found out you had your own podcast for parenting. How was that?
Yes, it was. It's called a mommy cast. It's about my mommyhood journey with my best friend.
Okay.
My best friend Latoya. Shout out to her.
Shout out Latoya.
We definitely decided to do a podcast because when we were going through our mom, I want to say our pregnancy journey, is when we realized how much, even with our education, we come from, middle class family and whatnot, and yet certain things were still a struggle for us. And so we said, well, if it's a struggle for us, then why, what about other people that don't have the resources that we have? And then not only that, but like, even some of the struggles that we were having health wise and whatnot, and then people were not being able to talk about it. Certain things were very harsh, and we're like, why? So this was our way of not only connecting, as best friends, and what we're going through, what we're dealing with on a day-to-day basis, but also to help be a bridge for the less fortunate.
See, I love that.
Just it boosts your hustle times 10. I remember thinking to myself, well, what am I gonna do now? I have a whole, I'm responsible for a whole other human, and you have no choice but to continue. So it gives you, an amplified motivation.
See, that's crazy. So throughout all of your PR mishaps and kind of hiccups that have occurred in the industry, what incident would you say shaped yourself and your company as a brand to say, like, you know what, we can do it? Because I want to say this, Chanel also has an internship program sometimes with certain interns that help out people who want to break into PR. And if you guys are looking for any internships, you can holler at her. Just make sure that you guys be super professional because she has a super professional client list. But how has that drilled into your soul to say, like, because Chanel, you very humble. You really out here doing it. Like, you, no, I get it, and I always tell you you're very humble, but I'm about like popping the shit for you. Got it out the mud is basically telling the people about how you made it out of the mud and how you had that dream. You think about the girl, like, was 17 years old when she found out that this is something that she wanted to do, and by the grace of God or whatever higher power you believe in, you are living your dream with your eyes open. So I always try to pay homage to those people who are the oil to the machines that the public sees, and
Yeah.
you are the oil.
Don't let a few bad moments or a few bad apples spoil the bunch, right? So you talk about that program. I definitely had a few instances where I did stop it. I want to say simultaneously with me getting pregnant, but also of just like had bad experiences, and and I started this whole program to give back, and and again I said I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna find the people to actually appreciate it and want to be here for the right reasons, and just and continue to do that. Focus on the positive, not the negative.
Of course. So, Chanel, I know you're very busy. I want to say thank you so much for taking the time out to call in and have me speak to you for Got It Out the Mud. Like I said, guys, make sure you check out her Instagram. That's her name right here. Chanel got it out the mud, and she's always mentoring and willing to give back. So any interns who want to break into PR, make sure you hit her up. You see her Instagram handle right here. And Chanel, I love you, baby. Thank you so much.
Alrighty.
Later.